So what's your name?
Yullbrenna.
Ah, fresh meat.
Alright, hey everybody, Yullbrenna here with another Ability Arena gameplay video, and this time we're going to be playing Icefrog. So, as you know, Icefrog is one of the most picked gods in the game. It's, I'd say, one of the most fun gods in the game, mainly because you get to kind of add another spell into it that nobody else can go for. It's always a little fun figuring out which spell you want to go for and what combos you can pick. So, in those aspects, it's definitely a fun god in the game to choose, and but it doesn't have the highest win rate, so it did get buffed recently. So what does it do? Again, at the beginning of the game, you will get a choice of 4 banned spells, and then 25 copies of it will be in the pool. And then each time you level up your shop, you will get a level of this spell. And so the 2 buffs that this has received over the years is, one, you saw it used to be 20, you just get the full 20, but now you get 25 copies, so there's more copies in there for you to choose from. And then, of course, each time you level up, you will get a choice of the spell, as opposed to last time there was only 3 times you would get it when you leveled up at 2, 3, and 5. So it's received some buffs. Whether that's warranted, some people say it is a strong god and it didn't need the buffs. Others have said that it's kind of a weak god because if you don't choose the right spell, it's kind of just another hero that you have, another guy, so it's not always the strongest. In this one, as you saw in the beginning, I picked Unleash. Usually I try to go for a strong ultimate. That's not always the case. You don't always get that choice, especially if you reroll. But if you want to get that spell into play, something like Duel, that really scales, or like, Culling Blade or something like that, you want to level up shop immediately. You can see on this one, I found a lot of spells I liked, so I was kind of not leveling up shop, but I finally leveled up shop here, and you level up shop for the first time, and you get Unleash into play. So Unleash is going to scale really well. It does well in the early game, and the mid and late game as well. Maybe sometimes the late game it can fall off, but with the right attack modifiers, it should work. So, yeah, so that's Icefrog, when to pick it. As I usually say, you can always pick this any game you want. Feel free to pick it any game. It's kind of fun. If there's already a lot of spells you like that you're going for, maybe you don't pick it, but it's kind of a fun god that you can pick if you just want to try something out or try a new combo, because you'll be able to combo more spells, kind of like a Donkey Agnum Light, where you can combo multiple ultimates into play. So that's kind of Icefrog. Again, picked Unleash on this one, and I think I'm going to try to go for Fury Swipes on this one as well. There's a lot of new spells that came out as well, and I want to try those out as well. So one of them is Haunt, and one of them is Death Ward. You've seen me talk about Death Ward. I think it's a very strong spell. It can be used at any level, 3, 6, or Gaben. It's just going to be a really good spell, almost super powerful. I leveled up shops again because I do want to get ultimates into play, and of course I want to get Unleash at least to level 3, and it wasn't popping, so I leveled up shop to make sure I can get it to level 2 or to level 3. So struggling a little bit here, and with Unleash, of course, you want to add attack modifiers to it. I've got Fervor, so there's not a lot of attack speed items in the game, so I am going to pick up Fervor and maybe add that to Unleash, so that after Unleash is done, I still have some attack speed on my unit. And then with Dragonite, I'm going to build some frontline, damage absorption, and then for Pudge, I kind of want to create a backline of Blade Fury, Blink, maybe Inner Fire, and then potentially Pulverize, or go with Chakra Magic as well. But Blink has not popped for me, so that's unfortunate, but that's okay. You can see Pulverize still does some good damage. Good single target spell, and it's honestly good early game when you're not going to be able to get stunned. So, like I said, picking up attack modifiers, I've got the stun from Bash, and then if I'm going for Plague Ward's Gaben, which is always a high risk, high reward, if you can get Plague Wards to Gaben with something like Bash to the Deep, it can be really overpowering. You also want to make sure you're getting off a lot of Plague Wards as well, so it can be a risky play because it's not a great spell until you get it to Gaben. So it's probably something that I may move out later on and then put back into play. leveling up shop again. With Icefrog, I used to not be the most aggressive with shop leveling, but I definitely want to get to shop 4. I put a lot of points in here for Icefrog, and if I can get it to level 6, that would be pretty good. So really relying on the Unleash right now. I'm not doing much other damage. The Pulverize is helping out a little bit, but Unleash is really doing the bulk of my work, and it's such a great Icefrog spell because when no one else has it, it creates such burst damage. Again, it's so good early game because before people are getting in, you know, their ultimates, you've already got Unleash, so you're taking out the early game and you're getting the mid game. So I pick up Haunt. Haunt is something I'm really excited about. I'm not sure what attack modifiers it can use. So I picked up Fervor, I picked up Bash, and I've got Haunt on it. So let's see what happens here. It looks like my units are attacking a little bit faster there. So the Fervor was working, but I'm not sure if the stun was working or if the Feast was working for the additional damage. So at the moment, Haunt I'm a little unsure of. But if I can get Haunt to work, maybe it was just that it didn't work with the Bash that time, but it'll work in the future, and then I can get Plague Wards with it as well. It could be really good, and then I'll get Inner Beast as well, so that'll add some additional attack speed, hopefully, to the Haunt. So still haven't found any backline here. Going for the Plague Wards again, that has been popping for the most part. And there's Death Ward, that's the other spell. Like I said, that is very good, especially when you get it to level 3, 6, and Gaben. And then I found Torrent Storm, yeah, if I want to get that up and get the Torrent Storm right now. So that's something I could use on frontline for a little bit more disable. Ran out of steam a little bit here, but I got the Mist Coil healed up Lion a little bit, and with the Fervor he should be able to be okay, especially with the Bash. Should be able to stun lock him eventually, and the Mist Coil is actually helping out, healed him a few times. Mist Coil, I think, a bit of an underrated spell. And Nature's Prophet pops up, so I'll go ahead and make that the Haunt build with the Unleash most likely. Still haven't found Blink that's coming to play, and you can see with the Death Ward, I don't have Death Ward casting immediately just in case there's any stuns. So what I'm doing is casting a few spells, make sure he doesn't get stunned because I'm not using spell immunity on him, and then he will cast Death Ward. So after everybody's stuns have been used, then he can go ahead and do his Death Ward and hopefully not get stunned about. Picking up more Torrent, seeing if I can get to the Torrent Storm, debating whether I need to go borrow time all the way to Gaben or if I just want to keep it value level 3. And Blood Rage also pops up again if I'm not going the Fervor route, or if I want to switch it up, I can pick up potentially Blood Rage. So a lot of mobility in play, but I haven't been able to find it. Also, Inner Fire, haven't been able to find that either, so my Pudge has been helpful, but can't get to the back line and cause a lot of disruption, which has been a little frustrating. Unleash popping up again. So I'm almost there on that. It's the I think the buff that I got from Icefrog, so got there a little bit faster. If I can get to Gaben on it, it's not the most impressive Gaben, but getting there is definitely going to be helpful for the increased duration. And Lion just kind of has some whatever ultimates on it. I I'd ideally like to get the Plague Wards on there. I've picked up some other ultimates that I may put into play, so I haven't really decided what I'm going to do there with Lion. You can see the Haunt actually did a good amount of damage. Pretty much the backline is at completely half health. And there's Mana Break. So Mana Break is another spell that I've wanted to try on Haunt, so I'm kind of just picking up a bunch of... You can see someone gaping it out, that's why it took so long for me to get it. But I wanted to try Mana Break with Haunt as well, so that's something I may put in there. And it's just going to kind of see how things fade out. I've also got God Strength that I may want to pair with Unleash just for some huge damage. So I have a lot of potential here. My builds are totally not solidified. Nature's still doing most of my damage, but in second place is, of course, the level 1 Death Ward. So even at that level, it's still doing some damage, but yeah, Nature's Prophet easily takes the cake with Haunt and with Unleash. I pick up the Plasma, finally find Blink, so hopefully have some backline damage here. And Wards showed up early for me, but it's kind of stalled out. Super unfortunate. Again, that's the risk of the going for it because of the high risk, high reward. Wards is kind of pointless until you get it to Gaben in the mid to late game. But still going strong here, finding Haunt, which I'm really happy about. And just good spells on my Dragon Knight. Going for more in Torrent as well. That hasn't been popping too much for me. And then deciding not to go for Chain Frost. I've already got a lot of spells that my bench is overloaded, especially for going into the late game. I need to make my decision on Lion. Looks like this guy's using the new Death Wards as well. I found those to be pretty underwhelming, honestly, unless it's an Akana build. But he's going for it. It may be able to work out for him. Maybe he knows something I don't. Searching for key spells here, kind of just keeping the Roar at level 1. And get that to level 6, I think that's the most important thing. And then I'll Lock Drop here, a couple spells that I do want to try. Time Lock, I saw Bash isn't really working with Haunt over these past couple rounds. You can see it's not stunning everybody, which is unfortunate here. You know, I thought a lot of attack modifiers would work. You can see Fervor is most likely working, like I had said, so that's good news. I think that's actually really good with it. So maybe Bash to the or Time Lock will work with it as well. So I may have to switch this up. Finally finding more in Death Ward. And yeah, I lost for the first time in a little bit. Builds are still strong. And again, I have that late game potential with the Death Wards into play. And potentially if Time Lock works with Haunt as well, since we've seen Bash to the Deep not really working. But really happy with how Fervor is working. I'm taking backliners down to half health. So let's see how I do if I can turn this around. This build does kind of counter me because they have the physical immunity to their whole team, so that hurt a little bit. And lost 2 in a row here. And I get God Strength to level 6 as well, so I kind of need to make some moves here. I'm losing for the second time, and I need to figure out something to get me to the late game, because this just isn't working out for me right now. So you can see kind of shuffling things around. Need to figure some things out. Need to put God Strength into play. I've invested so much into it. So yeah. The bash to the deep plus fervor working out really well, and I get the kill. So a little bit of a turnaround here as I get to the top 4, but a lot of these other builds I've been struggling on. The Rubik I've definitely lost to a few times. So while it may have worked against that opponent, I definitely think I need to do a little bit more shuffling of my spells here. I'm not in the right spot. Torrent really just hasn't popped for me at all. Plague Wards hasn't popped for me at all. I might be going for too much here. Just absolutely blown up by burst damage. Yeah, that guy's beaten me a few times. Finally, inner fire pops up, but I think it's too late at this point. Again, I'm going for too many things. And while Haunt works with a few of my spells, it's just not working with Bash. So I think I'll switch up Haunt, finally put in God Strength, and then take out Torrent and kind of do some healing, sustain build with the Dragonite up front. There's Plague Wards, so definitely want to lock shot for that. Going for it. Looks like the switch up worked a little bit here. Still haven't tried Time Lock to see if that works with Haunt, so I'll definitely try to get that into play soon. And more God Strength, looking to get that up as well. That is so close to being complete. So the Nature's Prophet could be really scary with God Strength and Unleash at Gaben. You can see the Nature's Prophet, pretty scary, tough to deal with two ultimates on it, the God Strength and the Unleash. And now kind of to decide, doing a heavy physical build, so probably going with the Daedalus. Presma's been great as well, but I've got 2 physical damage dealers, so I'll go for that. I get Miscoil, so a little bit more survivability. Anytime allies take over 1,000 damage, they're going to get hit with a Miscoil, so hopefully a lot of healing there. And I also get Feast to Gaben, so that's a global aura. Hopefully that works now on Lion with his Haunt. And let's see if I can get Time Lock into play, switch it up, and then I'll Lock Shot. God Strength pops up as well. Losing to this guy again, he's got some serious burst damage that I'm getting hit by, so I think that's more positioning. And now I get both Unleash and Gaben Strength, or God Strength to Gaben, so I'm going to be dealing a lot of stuns here, and for a lot longer, the 4 seconds, rounds only last a certain amount of time. And I get Haunt to Gaben, so Haunt illusions are invulnerable and don't die till the original target dies. So keep in mind, even though your guy may be alive, the illusions that you spawn may die, because the target that they were after dies. So I wish that just lasted the whole round. I think that would be a better buff, but let's see if this helps at all. Let's see if Time Lock works. It looks like Mana Break is working as well, but there is some mana regen in the game. And I'm going to swap around Blink because my HUD is just getting crushed. So I got a full channel. Looks like the Haunt did a lot of work there. I'm up there on the damage charts, still don't have the Gaben Plague Wards. Not sure if I could see it stunning there. I get the blink up, but again, I haven't been blinking to the back because he's got a lot of stuns on the back line, and so I'd rather just switch it up. But On the other opponent, he doesn't have that case, so I'll move back, put the blink on there, and try to blink to the back line and do the pulverize. Really close there on Haunt and Gaben Played Warriors. If I can get these two up, and it works with Time Lock and Mana Burn, it should work. Looking back, I end up switching Pulverize again, spread out my front line so I'm not getting burst down like I was the other times. And I think it works out. And I take him down. One away on Plague Wards. And I get it. Okay, so I'm definitely getting the Plague Wards with the Mana Break and the Time Lock, so I'll get some stuns off here. And if it doesn't look like it's working with the Haunt, which is unfortunate, I'll take a look in this battle here. This could be the final match. Taking a look here, the Stone Gaze is hurting a little bit for my units, and that guy, you can see the Focus Fire plus the Bash, so I really don't want to jump to the back line and have Pudge get hit. I want him to hit the Dragon Knight, so I'll put that and have him focus on that. Doesn't look like the Time Lock is working on the Haunt build, which is unfortunate, but the Plague Wards are doing it. They're stunning, and Nature's Tribe takes over. So I think a good introductory thing into Haunt, a good video to show which attack modifiers are working and which aren't. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck in your games, and take it easy.